$1,200, $375, $5,000. States are suddenly stepping up and giving you an enormous free stimulus, either as checks, rent, or utilities, free money, as they see that the federal government is not taking care of you. And these are some of the states that said they had no money. Incredible great news, as you may have looked for this free money just a few days ago. It wasn't there, and now it is. And guess what? If you blink, it's going to be gone again. I've been focusing on giving people money, free money, for upwards of 12 days. And now it's really heating up as more states are announcing free money across the board. And they're doing something else. They're also extending weeks of unemployment benefits. So where is this free money? And suddenly, how have private organizations suddenly stepped up and started paying free money for you as well? Everything is changing. It's all developing by the minute. It's going to change very quickly. And in the next few days, you're going to see things that you never expected to come from your state, city, and county, because this is Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited because so many states are now sending out stimulus checks, stimulus rent, and stimulus utilities. And then other states are actually extending your weeks of unemployment benefits. And then private organizations are picking up the slack, the things that are missing, and they're paying thousands of dollars of free stimulus to residents as well. It's all really exciting, great news. And if you did not catch it last night on Purple Power, that's why you gotta subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel because there's three things that are happening on this channel. One, I'm ensuring that you get money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, right now. Second, I'm ensuring the money is not a few $100s, it's thousands of dollars. Third, myself and the volunteers are doing incredible jobs, working 30, 40, 50 cases a day and helping thousands of people from becoming homeless. We've gotten viewers about $300,000, over $300,000 in free money in the last few days. But finally, the most incredible testament to the power of the Purple has been viewers helping viewers. In recent days, viewers have jumped into Purple Power Live and said, tell viewers there's free rent money from this organization. And tell viewers I got free money from this rent organization. That was the original testament I said to this channel back on April 25th when I talked about EIDL. That I will help you if you also help other people. Help one another because we're not competing. We're part of a family. So please subscribe. Also, please hit the alert button. Both of them are on the front of the channel. And meantime, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. In this video, I'll be going over what's going on with your states. It's very exciting. And I'll break it down to you in basic terms because it could be a little confusing. It's stimulus checks, it's stimulus rent, it's stimulus utilities, and then it's extended unemployment benefits. Meantime, there is new stuff that's coming across the board, which is private organizations paying for rent as well. Then I'll turn to everything else you've been wondering about. $2,400 for SSI and SSDI. Where will that grant land? And how about the grant for rent and for food and for hazard pay and CDC and all those other rent grants that you've been wondering about? EIDL grants and the other EIDL grants and the PPP grant. Where will those land and when will you get them? And how do you apply? And what do you need to know? And more. If you did not tune into Early Morning to LA Today or Morning to LA Today, this channel launched a new community page. It's at news.lalate.com/community. That's news.lalate.com/community. And on that, you can find the 9 volunteers that are helping viewers, if you can't find the CARES Act 1 money I'm about to cover, and 1 volunteer for many months who's helped a lot of viewers get their EIDLs approved. With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that states are getting very excited. And what I want you to understand is that the most important thing you need to do over the next 7 days to 10 days is just follow one local broadcast news channel where you live. Whether it's an NBC affiliate or CBS affiliate or Fox, whoever you watch locally or follow online if you don't have a television, follow them because they're going to be announcing new developments in your city, county, and states that weren't there 7 days ago. And what's important to understand is that when these announcements are made, the things are gone. For example, let me back up. 2 weeks ago, I announced that in Orange County, Florida, they launched a $1,200 or $1,500 stimulus check program for their residents from the county. This is from the county, not from the state of Florida, from the county. Well, they had 5,000 people apply within a few minutes one day. I ran the video, and then later that day, I thought, well, the program's closed. Well, one viewer got the money the next day. Last night on Purple Power Live, which is now 2 weeks after that initial recording I told you about, a viewer found out that they're doing it again. This is what's important for you to do. Ultimately, I can't follow every city, county, and state across the country. What you need to do is just track one of your places because they're announcing things by the minute. What we do know is that new stimulus checks are being issued in Colorado and New Mexico. Then Maryland and Anchorage are doing stimulus checks as well. Meantime, stimulus rent is being issued now in the state of New York. Yes. Can you imagine? The city of New York. Yes. The county of San Diego, the city of Houston, and other parts across the country, including major counties in Georgia like DeKalb, Marietta, Gwinnett, and the city of Atlanta, announcing major rent stimulus. Now, it may sound peculiar for me to even report this, because it's strange every time I say it. Because for 5 months, we were told by Nancy Pelosi that states were going bankrupt, that they had no money, that they couldn't pay their workers, that they couldn't declare bankruptcy, they needed a bailout. So why is the state of New York suddenly finding money to do another rent stimulus across the entire state? I don't know. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, and we're all going to go get the money. It's just, this is, again, one of those cases of, I'm so broke that I have fortunes in the bank for you. Well, the states have a lot of money. So ultimately, if you're one of those viewers who says, my state has no money, they're just broke. Give it a week, they'll come up with some money. What's important to understand is that cities, states, and counties that said they had nothing are suddenly having something. In LA County, for example, they've launched a rent grant. They launched a grant program for certain types of hospitality people. In Long Beach, they launched a rent grant program for some bars. So they're doing things in strange particular ways. What's important to understand is that when you're looking for this money, this is how you look for it. And I'm going to update this in the new way you're going to hear it today for the first time. You're going to look at your city. Then you're going to look at your city housing authority. The who? The City Housing Authority. Cities sometimes have housing authorities or city poverty assistance programs. In New York, there's one organization called One Shot that'll give you assistance in the case of an emergency. And it's part of NHA. And let me give you an example of what they say. They say, for example, that this is for emergency assistance for things like homelessness, eviction or disposition, utility disconnection, fire disaster, or domestic violence. So there you go, is that sometimes it can be something that you never would have thought of available for you. So city hall, your county hall, your city housing authority, and then you want to consider your state housing authority and your state offices. Now, it's important to understand that you need to really look. And ultimately, if you're a new subscriber or just joined, I thank you for joining me. But the push has been underway for this channel for now 12 days, and a lot of these things are running out. For example, on the very first day in which I launched the series, I talked a lot about the counties of Florida. They all had rent grant programs on their county websites. What's important to understand is that when you're looking at some cities and counties, these counties had rent grant programs just a few weeks ago, and a lot of them are closing. And so it's important to understand is that if you want this money, go get it right now because it's not going to be around much longer. And one of the best focuses of advice I've given in recent days is that if you apply for something somewhere and they say they have a waiting list, don't stop there, get on the waiting list, but go somewhere else and look somewhere else as well. Meantime, as one volunteer told me today, Nashville, for example, is announcing just today a new rent stimulus program and utilities. Now, this is an example of a city in a state in which viewers have constantly asked, where's the money? Where's the money? Is there any money? It just was announced. What I'm telling you right now is that between now and December 15th, which is just a few days away, you're going to see a lot of announcements across the boards in your cities and counties and states that you never heard before. It's incredibly great news. And what I want you to do is the following three things. One, I don't want you to focus only on a stimulus check, because I have seen some viewers that say, I just want a stimulus check. Well, ultimately, I don't predict a lot of states will do stimulus checks. That's the first thing. Second, I do predict a lot of states will do rent stimulus. So go get it, because it's thousands of dollars. It's generally $5, $6, $7, $10, $15,000, $20,000. Why hold out for a $300 stimulus check where you can have $5,000? Next, you qualify for these things. So generally, if you're on SSI or SSDI or Social Security or Railroad benefits, don't think you don't qualify for them. Ultimately, if you've looked for them and you've had problems finding them, go to the community page now at news.lalate.com/community. And this is the other breaking development, is that some states now have private organizations paying the rent and utilities for the viewers as well, and sometimes giving them stimulus. Let me give you the examples that we now know in the last 24 hours across some cities and states in the country. Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, Montana, Arizona are among the many that I detail every night on Purple Power Live as stepping up with free money when their states and cities don't have it. Pennsylvania. What's important for you to understand is that there's money out there, and that if you can't find it, reach out to the volunteers of this channel. Now, before I turn to one incredible additional great news coming from your states, I want to give you a warning. And the warning is the following. Ultimately, when you're on social media, of any social media platform, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, do not respond to a person who approaches you and says to you, I'll help you find stuff. That is ultimately a spam artist. There are spam artists across a lot of platforms that are trying to pry on innocent, hopeless people that are desperate in need of money. And when they approach you, it may involve a Bitcoin scheme or a bank routing scheme. Don't engage in communications with them. Immediately block them and report them. Now, let's turn to your states. Other breaking developments across the board is that states are suddenly doing extended benefits. So states that you never thought they would give you additional weeks of unemployment benefits are doing it. They're looking at the federal government, they're looking at CR, and they're like, I don't like what's going on. So now they're suddenly giving you additional weeks of unemployment benefits. This is really great news. And what I want you to understand is that if you're looking at your state and you don't see it yet, don't say it's not going to happen, because it may happen. You need to go to your state's website and make sure you certify for benefits every week. And then you need to hit the alert button somewhere on your state's website so you get an alert, whether it's a text or an email, when the state has a major announcement. If there is no such alert, then I want you to check your state's website every few days, because they will make the announcement on there if there's extended weeks of benefits. Now, how about all these other things? Boy, there's a lot of other exciting things that I want you to know about that's coming in January. Multiple stimulus checks, yes. The major bill from Joe Biden in January is going to have a lot of stuff in it, and I'm going to go over it for you right now. But before I do, and that includes multiple stimulus checks, I want to talk about the $2,400 SSI and SSDI. That, I believe, will be in a separate bill from the major stimulus bill. The SSI and SSDI will probably land in its own bill. It'll have three elements. First, the $200 a month that goes on top of your existing benefits from now to December. Second, the step up one-time, lifetime, upwards of 20%, that would bring you for, let's say, $1,000 to $1,200. Then, finally, the new benchmark. You would be tied to a new benchmark, and so annually they would reassess your benefits and determine whether you need to be paid more benefits each year based upon how much more things cost in the economy. The current benchmark's not working. That's COLA, so they want to use a new benchmark other than cost of living adjustment. Now, let's turn to the big stimulus package. What would be in there for free money? Let's get ready and let's go. First, EIDL, not one, but two. EIDL grants for the people who never got their grants but got their applications on time and were told, oh, the program ran out of money. Or people who did get their applications on time and got $1,000 instead of $10,000. Second, EIDL for new applicants as well. Then, PPP. More PPP grants are expected in the Joe Biden stimulus package, but could get into the CR stimulus package as well. Then, there would be grants for rent, because they want to ensure that you have rent when the eviction moratoriums expire, presuming they pass them. And they want to ensure you have the rent money to pay the landlord. Food grants, student loan repayment grants, or forgiveness of the grants. And then all the other exciting things, like the CDC grant for frontline workers, the Lifeline grant, which at $50,000 may not last, so that number may be smaller. And finally, hazard pay grant. That would be based upon number of hours you work from January to 60 days after the pandemic, which is about June, times $13 an hour. And what will the dollar amount be? I don't see it landing at $10,000 if the GOP retains the Senate. That's what Joe Biden wants, $10,000. I don't see that big number. I see something smaller. Then anything else? There's always something else. And the other thing that you're wondering about is FPUC. FPUC, Joe Biden's promising it will be $600 a week, retroactive back to late July. Viewers often ask this question, but haven't asked it in recent days, but I'm still going to answer it for you. Do you only get one or the other? No, you get everything. You get everything. So don't sit back and say, well, I'm on SSI and SSDI. Am I not going to get the stimulus check also? No, you get that also. Well, I'm on hazard pay, but I'm also FPUC. Am I going to get that also? Yeah, you'll get that also. Okay, so does anything contradict in this list? No, only PPP was the only thing that really had a provision in there that said you can't get one or the other. Finally, it's always important to understand that when you're applying for some of these CARES Act 1 grants, that ultimately, sometimes they ask, did you get something like an EIDL, or did you get a PPP? They don't want people who already got $20, $30, $40, $50,000 from the federal government then coming to a local community charity and ask, or a local county or city official and getting from their program another $10,000. So watch that as well. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below and I might answer them tomorrow's recording. Meantime, subscribe to this channel because no one's trying to get you money more than I am. And also like this video. Coming up next is Being a Mitch live recording in which I answer your questions about unemployment benefits, followed by Evenings LA with big updates about your check. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay LA for more.